Hey, what's up guys? So welcome to this very special video that we have been wanting to make for the past literally like 3 months, which is a tour of our new Mercedes Sprinter conversion that we finished a couple months ago. So finally today we're gonna run you through all the exterior stuff, the build, all the interior stuff. Nicole here.
That old guy was driving like this with his phone, and he was supposed to go in the ditch.
Shit. We're just gonna get this van tour on the road before someone crashes into us. So for this project, Nicole kind of took over all the design roles. I just like to build things, and that's what I'm good at, and she's really good at designing.
I'm a builder too.
You are a builder as well. I'm also kind of a designer.
No.
With the roof. I did the roof.
Yeah, you did the roof rack.
The roof. I designed the roof. Even though Nicole will tell you that I did not. It was completely my idea. It was.
I'm not gonna talk about this on camera.
So anyways, first off, I'm gonna go over all the exterior stuff, and then we're gonna go inside, and Nicole's gonna tell us all about the interior and the design. All right, so to start off, the build is on a Mercedes Sprinter 174x4. It was so hard for us to find one that we could actually convert, just because literally like the whole country is sold out of them. But randomly on Facebook Marketplace, I saw some dude who was selling one that was partially converted. So like literally the next day, me and Nicole went up there. We went and we bought it, and we finally got started on this build. So just to cover some of the exterior things, we didn't add this, but it has all-terrain tires over here. And then this company called Flatline Van Company hooked us up with all the roof rack, the ladder, the awning, all that good stuff for the outside of the van. The cool thing about Flatline, if you guys are doing vans yourself, is their stuff is really affordable. A lot of stuff in the van world is like Subaru. A lot of stuff in the van world is ridiculously expensive, but Flatline keeps their stuff super cheap, so everyone can have those really cool kits to get out your van. We have a big awning, a roof rack, and then I'll throw some B-roll right here of our ladder on the other side. And then on top of the roof rack itself is our solar system, which is a 400 watt solar system. There's 4 100 watt panels running down to our electrical system, and that's about it for the outside of the van. Pretty simple. We still got that creeper van white color going on because it's like 10 grand to paint it, so we kept that. Alright, so before it gets too dark, I want to talk about the back here, because the back is honestly one of my favorite parts, just because all the things you can store back here. So as you can see, we have our water tank over here on the right that's hooked up to a hose that you can just fill up at any water fill up area. Right in the middle here we have a drawer, which is a really nice addition. You just pull these down and this whole thing slides out. So you can put, you know, little containers and tubs and tents, and then you don't have to reach all the way back to get it. So that is super nice.
You can put your children.
You put your children when they get really annoying. Just put them back here. And then over on the left side here is the electrical panel, which I will show you guys a little bit more in depth later from the top, just because it's a little bit more accessible. But that's about it for the rear section here. The only other thing you will see outside the van is our WeBoost Drive Reach, which is actually really nice if you're taking your van in remote locations. You basically get cell service pretty much like anywhere in the country. It doesn't provide cell service, but it boosts it. So in a place that you'd normally have 3G, it'll boost that service up to LTE. It's super nice. It's one of my favorite parts of the van, so we can always work when we're on the road. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the outside. So now Nicole's gonna take over and talk about all of the design aspects.
Except for the ceiling.
Except for the ceiling.
Yeah! Hyundai!
Look at those white shoes. As Evan would say, if your shoes are too white, how are people supposed to know that you do stuff?
Alright, so for our color scheme, I really wanted to go the white farmhouse route, but Danny was very persistent on going gray and a slight bit darker, but I wanted to keep it like a little bit lighter just so it didn't feel so crammed, because when you bring in too many dark colors, it starts to feel, it can feel cozy, but it can feel like kind of claustrophobic in like a cave, and I wanted to keep it more of like a wide concept and homey vibe. I'm all about the homey vibe, so homey and cozy. So we went with this grayish, bluish kind of vibe, so it wasn't totally gray. There's still white in here, so it kind of makes it bright and lively.
Alright, we've resituated.
So the reason why we went with this layout, other than the last layout that we did, is because we seem to always have our friends and family visiting us on our trips when we do our road trips in our van. So we wanted to make it as spacious and to fit as many people as possible. So you can fit about, I would say, comfortably 4 people here in this nice little L-shaped bench that we created. And then obviously behind us here, I can move this way. We got our 2 seats. This one actually swivels, unlike in our last van, Patricia, this one didn't swivel. Both of these swivel, and this comes to a desk. So literally, this can be a huge workspace for everyone involved.
Alright, so now I'm just going to kind of walk you around the van this way to show you some of the features that we are really stoked to finally have in this van. And the first thing is the heater. So I installed the heater, like a lot of people do in their vans, right under here. It's an S-Bar S2 heater, and it's basically like a thermostat. It's super nice. You just set the temperature, like we set it at 75 usually, and that will just run and run and run and keep your van exactly the temperature that you want. The other cool thing about that is it runs off the diesel tank, so it's actually tapped into the gas tank over on this side of the underside of the van if you had X-ray vision. And so it doesn't use a bunch of electricity, and as long as you have a full tank of gas, you're good to go for a really long time. Then this window is a turn overland window. We'll have links to all of the different components in the description down below if you guys do want to check them out. But Turn Overland is just a really nice window company because you have a shade, you have a screen, and then when you want to open the window, you just open these things super easily and you can have a bunch of airflow. So these windows are super nice and probably won't use any other van windows ever, so they're really nice. So coming around, again, like Nicole said, we finally have the dual swivel seats, which is super nice. Last time we only had one, and it just like opens up the entire front of the van, so I can go like this all I want. And my personal favorite part is actually this little captain's chair here. When we're on the road, especially throughout COVID and stuff in our last van, it was hard to find like a good workspace. So this right here comes right here, and then I just have to crank some dials, lower this, and it's like the perfect workspace for a laptop. So someone can be in the back of the van working or eating, and then I can just be up here whizzing away on my laptop. There is an outlet right below here, so I can charge whatever. And then when you're not using it as a table, it just comes right back and just extends the countertop. The only other thing that up here that we installed is this Alpine, a bunch of letters and numbers speaker. I don't really remember what it is. The stock Mercedes one is just a normal radio, so we wanted to install this one because it has CarPlay. You can see like you got all your calls, you got all your apps, messages, stuff like that. Yeah, it just really is like an extension of your phone. Again, link for this will be down in the description below, but it's a super nice addition if you do have a Mercedes with the stock head unit. Alright, so moving around the van, we have these upper head cabinets. They are on gas struts, so these not only hold them up, but they also hold them in. And then we have our fridge. It's a Norcold 2.7 cubic foot
You
fridge.
remember those numbers, but you can't remember the Bluetooth numbers.
Yeah. On our last van, we had a chest fridge, and it's been really nice to have like a normal fridge like this. It just feels like more natural.
It's a little party in there with the blue light.
If you guys are doing a van and you can spend a little extra money getting one of these,
Definitely.
definitely
It's so much
recommend
better
it.
than having the cooler ones.
Yeah. Moving on, we have the under sink area, which is definitely the sexiest part of this van. Where we basically have our water heater. So this van officially has hot water. We had some freezing ass showers in Oregon on our first one. So we wanted this one to have a heater and to just have kind of all the amenities that you have at home. So there's a water heater and then also a water filter. So if we do fill up in like a campground or something, we know that we're gonna have clean water. But you can see down here, we have this airdrop water filter. Again, links in the description. Our water pump, accumulator, all going up to our actual sink itself. The next thing that we're really stoked about that this van has, thanks to our really beefed up electrical system with our Battleborn batteries and our Victron setup, we were able to do an induction cooktop, which is this sleek little dude here. It boils water like instantly. I've never had an induction stove before, but like literally put water on there, it's instantly boiling. It's super nice. And again, the only reason we can have this and the water heater down below is just because of our beefed up electrical system, which I'll show you guys later in the video. But other than that, that's pretty much it for like the more techie stuff, other than actually what's in between my legs right now, which is the most amazing toilet you've ever seen in your life. So under here is our Nature's Head compostable toilet that slides right out directly into your living room, dining room, bedroom, bathroom,
shower.
Your toilet is the center of it all. These toilets are really nice.
You get a view. And another view.
And you can freak out all the other people in the parking lot next to you. But these toilets are really nice because they don't smell at all. You can see back here there's a little tube that kind of just constantly filters out the smells. You basically can just use it like a normal toilet, and then once every couple of months you have to just change out the actual like soil that's in the bottom of the toilet. So these toilets, highly recommended. You don't have to change a bunch of gross black water. They're really nice, and could not recommend this toilet for van life more. Seriously. Slide that baby right back under the bed where you sleep every night.
It's not right under the bed, it's underneath the bench.
I'm gonna just quickly show you our little control panel over here, because we wanted our control panel to be right by the bed so we can easily just change all the lights. So that stuff, we can turn things off, and everything is right here close to bed.
Including the heater as well, not just the lights.
So these are our lights here. These two, you can kind of see that is for the lower one, which has actually been really cool and simple to install. This one is the main light. Boom, these switches were really easy to install. Again, links down below. Here is our battery monitor. It is a Victron battery monitor. It's a smart battery monitor, and it connects up to the whole battery system, which again, I'm gonna be showing you later. This heater, this is the control unit for the S-bar, and it's actually nice that this is by the bed because this is where it detects the temperature. So when I wanna turn it on, just hold that for 2 seconds, and then you set a couple different settings, and instantly it starts heating this baby up perfectly. What is that? And then the last thing over here is just an outlet. I did outlets with USB plugs just because we are charging tons of drones and cameras and a bunch of other stuff. One of the cool things about this van is you can access the electrical from down below in the garage or up here. Up here is way better in my opinion because it's really cold outside. So for this video, I'm gonna be showing you guys from up top. Not trying to step on all the kids we have in the back here. I mean, camping chairs.
Oh my god, you're just not funny.
Alright guys, so here is where the actual magic happens of this van. Like, this is probably the most important part, the electrical system. We went with Battleborn for our batteries, and they ended up sponsoring this build, which is freaking awesome. We really appreciate it, Battleborn. The cool thing is, I actually reached out to Battleborn just because I had heard really good things about their batteries. We're not the type of people to promote anything that we don't actually just like personally love and use, and it has worked out so amazing. So I'm gonna go in and just show you all the different components that we do have. All right, so this may seem complicated if you're not familiar with van life electrical systems, but it's actually super simple. So we have 3 different inputs in this system. This input right here, this Victron Smart Solar Charge Controller, this takes all the energy from the solar panels and converts it into usable energy by the van. And then over on this side, which we will cut to B-roll in a second, is our Orion Smart DC-DC charger, which basically is hooked up to the front of the van. So while we're driving, we're actually charging from the alternator of the van itself as well. Then the last charging input actually comes from our AC inverter. It's a cord that you can actually plug into any outlet or something, so you can actually plug the van into a normal outlet and charge it like you're charging like a drone or a phone or something. It's actually really cool. And it works super well. Like, for example, if the van is parked out front of the house and I just want to have it plugged in and make sure we don't run out of power or anything, I can just always plug it in. That's what's cool about this multi-plus inverter is it's not only an inverter, it also can connect up to shore power, so you can just charge it from just a normal wall outlet as well. Going on to the outputs, basically we have our DC system and then our AC system. Our DC system is using this fuse panel over here. But all of our 12 volt stuff, so like the lights, the toilet, the fan, all those little things, the more low energy things are run off of that fuse panel. And then all the high energy things like the outlets, the water heater, stuff like that is run off the multi-plus. Finally, getting on to the most important part, which is the actual batteries themselves. So we have 400 amp hour lithium batteries in this van. Like I said, they're from Battleborn. They've been really solid. I mean, it's been pretty cold when we haven't had the heater on and the van's just been sitting around, and they've still held their charge really well. If you're looking for really solid batteries for your van, definitely check out Battleborn. All right, so the last component that I want to talk about is our WeBoost Drive Reach. Again, that is the antenna that's on top of the van, and that's basically taking our cell signals and amplifying them so we can pretty much get service wherever we want. It doesn't work everywhere, like I kind of mentioned, but if you do have at least like a 1 bar or something, it'll amplify that and make it a lot stronger. So we really like it, and we definitely won't have any vans without it because it's so nice. The last thing right here is our Lynx distributor. So this is actually the equivalent of having bus bars. A lot of people just have 2 bus bars. That's what we had on our last van, but we wanted to try this distributor system, and it's worked out really well. It basically has all your kind of inputs and outputs all plugged up into there. It's really nice, and I personally just like to keep things super organized, so it's nice for me to just look at like one big component instead of a bunch of little wires going everywhere. So that's nice just to keep your system organized. And that's about it for all the electrical stuff. A lot of the little stuff was bought on Amazon, like the circuit breakers and all the other like wires and things like that. And I do have a dedicated video where I go over our entire electrical system in depth. So if you guys want to check that out, put it right here. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the electrical system.
So before we move on to the best and last part of our van, I'm going to talk about the bed, which is a queen size bed. We like to have our bed a bit bigger just because I move around a lot in my sleep. We wanted our bed to be north and south just because we wanted to lay with our feet facing this direction, and we are definitely not jumping over each other to get out at night, so we're not going to be waking each other up. Last thing, the reason why we decided to put the window over here is because it does help with airflow throughout the van. As you can see above you, there is a fan, so once we open up this back window here while we're sleeping, there's a nice draft that goes in, and it helps us stay cooler at night. So in the summertime, it's super nice. And obviously we have our cupboards up above that just stores all our clothes. We wanted to have a lot more storage in this van that was more easily accessible, just because before we were just literally pulling our clothes out of like all the storage on the benches in our last van. So it's really nice to have shelves, cabinets that are just really easy to access. While we're on that note of like storage, I totally forgot to talk about this, but we have a bunch of storage throughout this huge bench that we made. In this one, we got 2 big old just stuffers. Really, like you can just throw whatever junk you want in there, dirty shoes, whatever. Danny's saying no to dirty shoes.
Dirty shoes there. Clean things
literally
there.
Also, shout out to my grandma who made these lovely cushions for us and helped me pick out the perfect matching color for them as well to match this wonderful van. So thanks, Grandma. I love you. And then there's another storage little area right here in this corner. I'm obviously just not gonna deal with all the cushions right now, but there is one underneath there. It's exactly the same kind of space-wise as the 2 that are in here. And then the toilet and everything's in here as well. But yeah. Okay, and side note, we do have a full-size shower in this van, but you're just gonna have to wait till the end to see it, so. Kitchen time! Over here in the kitchen, we wanted to keep it kind of like the open concept. With all our vans, honestly, I think we're always gonna do kind of an open concept, but it's super long and wide. We actually added this, as Danny said, and this is honestly my favorite part, which is the backsplash. You can get these at Home Depot. Yeah. But anyways, we wanted to make this van a little bit more modern and kind of like an abstract, almost like art piece kind of feel in a way. So we kind of made this into almost a mountain range. And I think it's like literally what brings this whole van together, because we used to not have this there. And we just had a bunch of extra pieces from the shower area. And we kind of just threw it together and it came out really well, and I actually love it. Drum roll! Alright, so I know you guys have waited this whole episode for this one, so let's do the freaking shower. Shall we? So this is the shower. I'm just kidding. So all you have to really do is pull out this nice jazzy my shoes were like slipping and I was just like. So sadly, me and Danny cannot take credit for this idea. It came from one of our cool van life community peeps from Lewis the Van, and they created this idea of having a shower that comes out from underneath your bench here and connects all the way to the top. So there's a drain underneath and there's a drain in the pan, and they all line up perfectly to drain out the water that you are using for your shower. Basically what you do is you take this hose that was in the pan, connect it to your sink here, attach the shower head to it, and pull it over the curtain, and you got your good old shower getting ready to go, getting all cleaned up, and scrub, scrub, scrub. Wow.
Can you breathe?
No.
You sound short of breath. Alright guys, so that about does it for our van build tour. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like we kind of mentioned throughout, all the links for everything can be found down in the description down below, for all the batteries, the roof rack stuff, the toilet, everything like that. Massive thanks to Battleborn for sponsoring this build. They helped us out a ton. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know if you want to see more content like this. And Nicole, do you have anything to add?
Have a great day. Love you. Bye.
Peace. I look like a little egg.
It's way higher than Patricia. Mommy. Nobody likes my ideas.
Shut up.